Good morning students, myself Dr. Shirisha, Associate Professor from CSE Department, MLR Institute of Technology. In this session, we'll see what are STRUTS tag libraries. In the previous session, we have covered what are the different frameworks. So, in this session, I'll cover the tag libraries. So, what are tag libraries means? We all know when you are working with any object-oriented programming language or any programming language, we need certain libraries or packages to import. Then only the APIs, what are the interfaces, methods are there that we can use. So, in such way, to use the tag libraries means whatever the view component is doing, that view helps us to build the presentation logic. So, for that we need tags. So, for using those tags we need some libraries. So, there are some set of tag libraries we'll discuss. Strut tag libraries are of 5 types. So, we have HTML tag library where we use different tags like button tag, like text tag, text area tag, okay, different tags. And bean tag is again, we'll have different bean tags to use Java beans, where we require those APIs and different tags. Logic tags is nothing but your strut will use a business logic, whatever the servlet or JSP we use. So, those logical tags we need to write, that we'll discuss. Nested tag library is nothing but whenever you want to reuse or give set of conditions and use or print the statements accordingly, then we'll go with nested tag library. Using JSTL with struts. JSTL is again for styling. So, if you wanted to provide styling, then we'll go with JSTL with struts. So, these are different tags that we have for HTML library. So, one is a base tag. Base tag is nothing but it will have a href, like we have anchor tag. A is the anchor tag where we'll get a link. So, it will give you a link and we'll give the href. Similarly, this href is also used for this base tag to set the URL of enclosing JSP. You will give certain JSP files, .jsp files for doing your modeling. So, we know model view controller, MVC architecture, right? STRUTS is following MVC architecture, in which this model can be done, can be written using JSP or servlet, right? So, if you are giving the JSP, so that URL you have to pass using this reference. This base tag will take the reference of those files. So, button is nothing but input type equals to button. This is a general tag that we use in the HTML also. So, input type button means what? You will get a button. Just if you are giving name, click me, so this will act as a button. So, cancel, input type equal to submit. So, just if you are writing the submit button, so it will act as a button, and when executed causes struts cancel feature to be triggered. Okay. So, along with this you also have the cancel button. Checkbox is nothing but whenever you have this box, if you are ticking this, that is a checkbox. It generates the input type equals to checkbox, means whether you are selecting that or not. So, where some options will be given, n number of options will be given. Suppose if you want to select only 2, then we will select these 2. Okay. Then errors. Displays a set of error messages stored in this. Error messages are nothing but when, like whenever the server is busy, you are trying to open that server, then in the browser we will get page not found error. Okay. So, this is the best example. What is this page not found? It is a 404 error. The numeric value that is assigned for page not found error. So, if you have that, we will give in the org.apache struts action errors. Action errors means in the previous session I told you we will be having action forms and action mapping. So, in that if you wanted to define any error messages, then we will be giving those error messages here. Then file generates the file. So, input type is a file type. Suppose if you wanted to upload any file, so just upload. What we'll do, we'll just take a input box and you extract, browse it, and from the browser in the local machine you will just extract that file, and when you click on the upload button it will get uploaded. So there, what is the file type we have to give? Just input type equal to file. Normally we will give input type equals to text, input type equals to password, like that. So here for file uploading we have to use this. Then form tag is tied to an action object, because in HTML we use this form tag. So here it is tied with an action object. Its corresponding form beam from the struts configuration file. The struts-config.xml is nothing but the configuration file. So whatever the configuration you wanted to do, so this configuration will be done for the HTML form which is done with the action object. And frame is nothing but, suppose if this is the whole page. So let me show you, this is the whole page. This whole page I wanted to divide this particular half and this particular half with a separate content. So this will become a frame 1, this will become the frame 2. Okay, if you want to divide a page into multiple windows, so this will be a single window and this will be a single window. So two different windows in the same window. So such things can be happen using this frames. So for that we use what? HTML frame tag. Similarly, hidden means hiding the data. So this is populated with the data specified object. Hidden means hiding. HTML tag with language sets the current users locally. Locally means in struts we use the attribute locally. So that is binded with this HTML to write the HTML code or to make your HTML tags work. Image generates an image. So input type, what we have to give? Image. In HTML we have image tag, or you can also write img tag. So in this way we have input type is equals to image in our tag library, HTML tag library. JavaScript generates the client side scripting. Means what? Whatever script tags will write. So inside the script tags whatever we are giving, so these tags are nothing but these are used for doing the validation, right? So generates the client side JavaScript validation defined in the validator framework. So validation.xml is one more configuration file you will have. So see, these configuration files are having a separate use of using these frameworks. So for JavaScript we will go for validation.xml. So if you see in the morning session or in the previous session we have seen that whatever the elements or what are the frameworks we have discussed, in that validation plugin is one thing. So that validation plugin is used for this JavaScript to do the validation. Link, as I told you, A is a tag which is used to provide the link, hyperlink. So if you are giving CSE as a link or MLR as a link, then what happens? So this has to be displayed like this. Put your cursor here, then it will get extracted. Okay, so it is composed by specifying a base URL, like we have discussed base as a first HTML tag. So that A is also used for that, specifying an anchor or query string parameters to add to the URL. So a reference will give using href. Then messages. So it displays a set of messages stored in this. What is this org.apache struts is? This is the original website where your struts documentation or where your struts can be downloaded. Everything is defined here. Okay, so that we are using every API you can just extract from here. org.apache. Apache is nothing but, you know, ASF, Apache Software Foundation, where it provides all the set of documentation or different versions of struts. Everything is given in this org.apache.struts. So from there you have APIs which are in action errors, so that all those objects can be extracted. So in that we also have action messages, action errors are there. In that errors we have action message objects also. This is a request object. Then multi-box generates the HTML input type as checkbox. So as I told you, multi-box is also for the checkbox. Checkbox is also for checkbox. Okay. And option generates an option tag. Option is nothing but whatever the drop down list you are giving. So here you will be having CSE, so say it is a department, here you have CSE, ECE, EEE. Okay, so all this we are giving. So if you are selecting this, so this means these are the set of options. If you want to get all these options like this, then we will go for this option tag. Then generates a set of HTML option tags for each. So the options, multiple options, option, single option, option collection, again this is also similar to your option tag. And password tag. Password means if whenever you are giving a input type is equals to password or password tag, then whatever the input you are giving, so here rather than selecting or displaying the text, it is displaying what? Bullets. Okay, so for that we need this password. Radio, input type equals to radio. So these are the radios. So if you select this, so CSE, ECE, IT, CSM, something like this. So if you wanted to select only one option, if you are selecting one, all other will get disabled. So you can't select two options at a time. Whereas if you are using check boxes, if you want to select two, then you can select two. So that is a checkbox. So this is a radio button for which we have radio. Then reset to make all this again to the starting state, that is resetting. So disabling all the inputs that are given by the user. Okay. Then rewrite is nothing but it is specifying an anchor or string parameters to add to the URL, like your the path. Okay, specifying an anchor or query string means whatever you wanted to send as a string query, that you can be rewrite. So select is nothing but select an option tag which are used to select one among the multiple options. Submit button, you know. Text input type equals to text. In all the examples we have been using it. Text area to get a multiple line text. So you will be having multiple lines here. Multiple lines. So this is where this is multiple line text. So you can give lot of content here. So whereas input type equals to text means you will have only a single box, whereas here you can give number of rows and number of columns also. Okay. XHTML instructs the rest of the tags in HTML tag library to generate the output as XHTML instead of HTML. Okay, that depends.